when he's been in New England. That's the only time they threw the ball deep was with him. The one thing I always bring up, and the one thing that is a perfect example, Matt Castle came in, led them to almost threw for 4,000 yards. 4,000 yards. We're talking about Matt flippin' Castle. 2 years later, he had his best season in Kansas City and his second best as a pro. Would anybody like to tell me who his offensive coordinator was and what system they were running in Kansas City when he succeeded? Charlie Weiss, and they were running the West Coast offense. Ever since then, when they left, ever since then, Matt Castle has been garbage.
96, 2013, 3-3 in Minnesota, and then got cut from Buffalo, and now he's starting for Dallas.
Thank you.
But go ahead, proceed.
So my point is, the West Coast offense is a gimmick offense. It is a gimmick offense.
Now you're not cutting down like Tom Brady.
No, I'm not cutting down nothing they accomplished. I'm not cutting down nothing they accomplished because the first day he got to walk into the door, guess what he got to do? He got to learn how to do that West Coast offense. Do they do it to perfection? Yes. Do they do it because he's really good at what he does? Yes. But does that system make him better? Yes. Because he's learned it from day one going in there. First day you go on a job, you learn your job. The longer you've been doing it, the better and better you get at your said job. To where finally you got it down. If Belichick wasn't there, Tom Brady wouldn't be successful as he is. If Belichick wasn't there...
I beg to differ. I will completely...
But you'll never know. That's the thing. You'll never know. I guarantee.
You're right.
I will put money that if the Jaguars right now traded for Tom Brady wouldn't win them no more than 5 games. If they are running the same system they are running in Jacksonville right now, they would not win more than 5 games with Tom Brady as quarterback. But I guarantee you could take somebody else. You could take a Blake Bortles, or we could trade quarterbacks. And I guarantee you that Patriots will still have a similar style and run that similar style, getting the ball out quick and everything like that, and running their little pick plays that they play that leaves a guy standing wide open 5 yards in front of him where he can throw the ball right to him and run right down the field. I guarantee you they would have similar success.
So you're telling me, and hear me out on this, Blaine Gabbert could run that offense and be a...
Blaine Gabbert could run the offense. Blaine Gabbert could run the offense. You want to know why? Blaine Gabbert's biggest thing was he was scared to death of a pass rush. In New England, no one has a pass. The only reason that flipping Dallas got to him is because Hardy was getting off that line so fast, their guy couldn't even block him. And you seen what they did later on in the game. They moved it slightly to the outside and ran more pick plays, and there was a guy standing right in front of Tom 5 yards down the field to where he could throw it to him. Because that system rolled everybody out.
I can tell you with 100% in my heart, I guarantee that I am so sure that if they traded places from Green Bay with Tom Brady, they'd be just as successful, and Green Bay would win another Super Bowl.
Wrong.
They would trade places with Seattle, and they'd win another Super Bowl.
Wrong.
They would trade places with Kansas City. Kansas City would win a Super Bowl.
Wrong. Because no one runs
I'll tell you
that
why,
system.
because it's the same thing. Let me just say how good Brady is. I think Brady's biggest people, the people who argue against him, is the ones that don't appreciate what the guy can do. It's like, we recognize this, and I see you do this and this. The guy is just fucking phenomenal, man. And the only other guy that I thought that was damn good, if not better, but he leads the shit. And he leads in interceptions, is Brett Favre. And I thought he could play anywhere, and he can. I felt like Brett Favre could have played anywhere. Went to fucking Minnesota. Probably should have won him a Super Bowl.
Because there was no system in Green Bay. There was no system. It was Brett, go win us the game. Brett wasn't getting the ball out in 2 seconds. Tom Brady, every single one of his passes is a second.
Brett could, though.
But Brett didn't, because that wasn't Brett's game. Brett had to run around and leave the pocket. Brett was moving at all time. He was scrambling. Brett was a scrambler. Earlier in his career, Brett was a scrambling gunslinger. That's all he was. That's why he led the league in interceptions. You put Brett in a system like that, Brett would have been phenomenal as well because all he would have had to do was dink and dunk. Brett made himself that way because he was running down the field throwing the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Peyton Manning could probably go anywhere and do it before Tom Brady can go anywhere and do it.
Should we agree that Peyton Manning that could only win us 5 games here or less in Jacksonville?
As of right now,
As
yes.
of right now, yes. But in their
There you
prime, Peyton Manning can go to any stinking system, learn it, and bombard everybody. There's your difference. I don't think Tom Brady can go to every single stinking system and bombard everybody because they can't do it because it is set up so perfectly. You said it yourself. They've done more with less. And why have they done more with less? Because of Bill freaking Belichick.
That's throwing the ball.
Bill,
have the guy. You have to have that guy.
A lot of people have that guy and they don't go nowhere.
You gotta have some kind of talent. You gotta have some kind of talent.
I have not said Tom Brady does not have talent.
He's got plenty of
talent. I have not said he doesn't have talent. I'm saying he's benefiting a ton from that system. The system is making him look phenomenal, much more than he would look in a different
Brady
system.
Is talented. There's no doubt there. The guy is clutch. The guy has that it thing. That's what helped Tom Brady even more because he's got something about him that it factor. But to me,
and here's my thing. And here's another thing. Everybody always talks about, well, look at the Super Bowls and everything like that. Did they blow anybody out in their Super Bowl games?
No.
How many points did they won most of their Super Bowl games by?
Margin
like 3 or 4 points.
Yeah.
The Giants always beat them and everything. What went on during those first Super Bowls? So you're telling me not knowing somebody's plays ain't going to get you 3 points during a game?
We don't know that happened.
Yes, we do. They burnt down a fucking building full of shit. Yeah, we do know it happened. We do know it happened. So saying to me, ask the Oakland Raiders if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers not knowing their play because John Gruden was telling them every single thing they run didn't make it harder for them to win.
That I can believe.
But that's what I'm saying. You're telling me that New England didn't knowing what people were doing wasn't worth 3 points. New England's defense was great. Tom Brady didn't win them games.
No, if it came down to just 3 points, I don't think it would have mattered. I really don't. I really don't think if they knew their plays. Let me tell you, it would have been more than 3 points. If I knew what they were going to run, I knew.
Well, they knew.
Let me tell you something. It would have been more like 14, maybe even 21. It would have been like Peyton Manning getting stomped in the Super Bowl.
Ooh.
Kind of a knowing your playbook kind of a deal against Seattle. You get what I'm saying? If I knew what was happening, it's Seattle crushing the Broncos in the Super Bowl. That's what I think.
Well, there was a different thing too, but St. Louis.
I think this team that they got beat. I thought that damn Broncos team was one of the better teams I had seen in a long time. Yeah. Offensively, I thought they were.
But then they run into the best defense.
And they run into the best defense that I've seen in a while too. They got destroyed.
But that's what I'm saying. These defensive teams, the Patriots have one of the best defenses. There for a while with Ty Law and
back when they had Ty Law, I would agree. Yes,
and that numbnuts that when they first won their championship, that's how they were winning them was with defense, because Tom wasn't fully developed yet. Tom didn't fully develop. When they won those championships, their defense was sure enough doing it, and Adam Vinatieri was winning them a bunch of games. But
I'll tell you what. Go in and I'll leave it to this. I know college doesn't make a big deal.
This isn't about nothing. This is zero about college.
I don't make it matter about this. But go and watch what he did when he was at Michigan. Just watch what he did.
I know what he did when he was at Michigan because I watched it.
And I'm going to tell you, you will see what I see. You'll be like, okay, I get what he's saying. I see what he's saying.
No, because I'm seeing what he's doing now as a 38-year-old.
Go ahead, Steve. Go ahead. Make.
He did. That's what he said. But I'm not watching. I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about in the pros. I'm talking about the stuff he is doing that makes him so all God high and mighty when he's throwing 5-yard crossing patterns to big gigantic people that are running 50 yards down the field. And that's what they're doing. They take whatever the defense gives you, and it's the simplest system ever. In a sense,
whenever you have an organization like the Patriots, which in a sense are kind of like the Jaguars, who don't really want to spend their money, and a dumbass, and I hate to say Brady's a dumbass for not making them spend more money on him, which they should, but the guy's a team-first guy. He wants him to go get players. They never get him players. So you know what? That's not on him. He's got it. He's the guy that's going to put him on that ball in that spot at that same exact time. And when you're doing it with a rookie, that tells me that quarterback is going to make you look phenomenal, not the receiver making the quarterback look good. You get what I'm saying? You ever heard of a guy named David Terrell? He went first in the NFL draft, right?
Mm-hmm.
Remember him? David Terrell first. He was a first-round draft pick. You know who his quarterback was? Tom Brady. You know who made him look good? Tom Brady. Because you know what happened to David Terrell? He's not in the NFL.
No,
he flopped out.
No, he caught that. He caught that pass in the Super Bowl and didn't need to do nothing.
So, I'm just telling you, this is just me. That's my opinion on it. I believe with my heart, Brady can go anywhere. You may not think it because you think he can dink and nuts like I do. I hear you.
Okay, we'll just
100%. But I think Brady's skill set is so broad. I think he could go fit in anywhere.
Okay. So,
that's just me. I think because his skill set is just so broad. I know he can throw it down the field. I know he can do the dink and dunk shit because we see it. So I hear you on it. Because I will agree with you that they do the dink and dunk. But at the same, I know he can chuck it down the field too, and he can put it on the money, just like Aaron Rodgers can. And that son of a bitch is about as accurate as they can get.
Sorry, Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback in the league right now.
Tom Brady is.
Nope.
But
okay. We'll leave it at that.
Aaron Rodgers is a bad dude, man. Let's not kid ourselves. He is.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll leave it at that, and
Aaron Rodgers almost won a game on a broke leg.
You're absolutely right. He did.
Yeah.
Tom Brady lost the whole year because of a broke leg.
Hey,
in which Matt Castle threw for 4,000 yards, but I'm not saying nothing else.
You know who else who won a game on a broken leg?
Jack Youngblood did.
Leftwich.
No, broken ankle. Broken ankle in college against David Garrard.
Yeah, right. Holy shit, that's right.
Against David Garrard.
Yeah.
How they know their future will come.
Yeah, very much so.
All right, let's move forward there, and we'll make our NFL picks.
You didn't even add nothing.
Listen, I let these two go at it, and like I said,
But we know who you agree.
Oh
with.
yeah, no, I think he's a system quarterback. Do I believe that Tom Brady is a phenomenal quarterback? Yes, he is, and I think, in my opinion, he got what it takes. He got that clutch gene. There's nothing denying that, but I do think that part is system and part is talent. He's talented. Yeah, he's talented.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's all system, but that system has a lot
from where
to
he
do
came
with the
from,
success of not only Tom Brady, but the success of everyone around him as well. And they create. Here's a great example. Remember what I was talking about, Florida, where McElwain is creating mismatches all over the field to get a guy one-on-one against a linebacker and everything like that. Belichick does the same thing. They do the same thing in that system, and all you had to do was look at the Super Bowl. They rolled Gronkowski out, got him matched up against a linebacker.
Okay.
Threw a 10-yard pass to Gronkowski when he was lined up on a linebacker, and he was able to run it right into the end zone.
This is how I look at it too, man.
I could have threw that ball to Gronkowski, and he could have took it. You would have got
that. You would have got that ball 3 yards.
Actually,
it would have got swatted down as soon as it left your hand.
Actually, I'm just as tall. I'm just as tall as Tom Brady and can throw the football about 50 yards, but that's not.
Let me before we move on. Let me
watch what you say before you know, because you didn't come out there and play football. Oh, take that. What
did I say? What did I?
Take that.
You guys, what am I doing? What am I doing? What do I always say?
You had your Michigan game, and I know you had the with your family too. So
there wasn't no Michigan game on that game.
But he was with his family going to the Jazz game. But that one,
no, there wasn't. You went to Disney World or something.
No, he went.
He went to the Jaguar.
Yeah, the meet and greet Jaguars.
Yeah, he went to the Jaguar, which is great.
Before we move forward, like I said, Tom Brady's story is very inspirational, but. The no, but listen, because it's sixth round draft pick where he came from, and I know Stephen had more of this because he played for Michigan, but it's just the freaking Patriots and their history that people does not like them outside of New England, and the people that moved down from New England to Florida that likes the New England Patriots. Listen, I lived there for 2 years, and they asked my opinion, what is the outside view of the New England Patriots? I said, you want to really know